All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about a system called Unicorn.BOS, and it makes some really big promises about completely changing how companies work. So our job is to pull back the curtain and figure out what this magic of enterprise intelligence is all about. And I mean, they come right out of the gate with this. Talk about a bold claim, right? This isn't just saying we're a little bit better. This is promising a total transformation. So you're probably asking the same thing I am. What is this magic, really? And how in the world does it work?
Okay, so the first thing you've got to understand is that this is not just another app you install on your computer. The people who built it are super clear about this. You have to think of it as something way more fundamental, something that becomes the core of the business itself.
And I love the way they describe it, a central nervous system. Just think about that for a second. Your nervous system connects everything, right? It feels things, sends signals, and lets your brain make smart decisions. That's exactly the idea here, to create one single system that wires up all the important stuff, like AI and automation, so the whole organization can act smarter, faster, and all together. But here, this is the part that really blows my mind. The system isn't static. It doesn't just sit there. The real magic, the true power they're talking about, is that it actually learns. It adapts to problems and gets better and better over time, all by itself. So the big question is, how? How on earth does the system do that? Well, to answer that, we've got to pop the hood and see what's really driving this thing. Because this whole self-improvement thing isn't just a marketing buzzword. There's an actual specific engine inside making it all happen. And here it is. It's an internal tool called Mini Test Sprite. And that nickname, the Quality Guardian, it's perfect, isn't it? Because that's exactly what it does. It's not just running a checklist. It's literally standing guard, protecting the health of the entire system 24/7. So let's take a look at the Guardian's point of view. This is its main dashboard. And right away, you see how clean and simple it is. No clutter. At a glance, you know how many test suites you have, how many test cases are in them, and then boom, right there, the number everybody wants to see, a 100% pass rate. This is basically mission control for your company's technology. Okay, so that's the view from 30,000 feet. Now let's zoom in and step inside the actual command center. This is where the teams get their hands dirty and where all that confidence and control really comes from. So this right here is the heart of the operation. Each one of these cards you're looking at represents a whole piece of the system, and you can see its health right away. Green is good. And with a single click, you can run all the tests for that piece. It takes a job that can be a chaotic mess and makes it completely organized and manageable. But here's the so what. What does this actually do for the business? Well, it's not just about being tidy. This is about being able to release new features without holding your breath and hoping nothing breaks. It's about knowing exactly what's wrong and what to fix first when something does go wrong. It's all about taking the fear and the guesswork out of the equation. Okay, the next piece of the puzzle is another really smart idea, the test fixtures repository. The easiest way to think about it is like a central library, but for data. So instead of every developer having to invent fake user info or sample data for every little test they write, they just grab it from this one trusted place. It's a huge deal in the tech world. They call it a single source of truth for a reason. And the payoff for doing this? It's massive. First, you get consistency, but the maintainability is the real lifesaver. If a piece of data needs to change, you don't have to hunt through hundreds of files. You change it in one spot and everything is instantly fixed. And let's talk security, because this is huge. It means sensitive info like passwords and keys aren't just lying around in random files. That is a very, very big win. So, we've seen the command center and we've seen the central library. Both are super powerful tools, but they're still tools that people have to operate. Now we get to the secret sauce, the part of the system that starts to think for itself. So I know what you might be thinking. These are great tools, for sure, but intelligent? A system that learns on its own? Come on, how is that even possible? Well, here's your answer. It all comes down to this thing called the Air Knowledge Base. And don't let the boring name fool you. This isn't just a log file. They call it a brain for a reason, because it remembers everything, every single mistake. And it doesn't just remember that it broke, it remembers why it broke and exactly how it got fixed. It's automatically building a memory for the whole company. And they call this whole process the knowledge loop. So picture this. An error happens. Bam. The system logs everything about it. Later, a developer runs into a similar problem. They don't have to waste hours trying to figure it out. Nope, the answer is already waiting for them in the knowledge base. But here's the kicker. Step 4. This is the real magic. The system itself starts to see patterns in the data, and it uses what it's learned to prevent the same kinds of bugs from ever happening again. It's literally learning from its mistakes.
Okay, so that is some seriously impressive tech. But let's bring it all back down to earth. What does this actually mean for the real people who have to run the business day in and day out? Let's break down who this helps and how. If you're an executive, you're always worried about the big picture stuff. Things like IT is costing us a fortune, or why are all our different systems living on their own little islands? Well, this system is built to solve those exact problems. It's modular, so you only pay for what you use. And its whole purpose is to be that single platform that gets everything talking to each other. Now, if you're leading an IT team, your headaches are more immediate. You're tired of every new software release feeling like a high-wire act, and you're beyond frustrated that your team is stuck playing whack-a-mole with the same recurring bugs. That knowledge loop we just talked about, that's your superpower. It breaks that painful cycle so your team can stop fighting fire and start innovating. And finally, for the developers, the people actually in the trenches writing code, this is a total game changer for their day-to-day. You know that horrible feeling of being stuck on a bug for hours, just staring at the screen? Well, imagine if you could just look up the answer. That error knowledge base becomes their new best friend. It turns painful guesswork into fast, efficient problem solving. And I think this quote from the lead architect just sums it all up perfectly. The point was never just to build a system that doesn't crash. The point was to build a foundation so incredibly solid, so smart and self-sufficient that it frees up the entire organization to stop worrying about the plumbing and start dreaming about, well, reaching the stars. So there you have it. The magic of Unicorn.BOS isn't one single trick. It's a whole ecosystem, from a command center that gives you control to a knowledge base that gives the system a memory. And it leaves us with a pretty provocative question, doesn't it? What could your company achieve if your core systems didn't just run, but actually learned? If you want to see it for yourself, now you know how to find out more.